This is Special Agent Tish Schuler with the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. It is Wednesday, August 13th, approximately 17 hours, and I am here with Nathan Arndt. Nathan, if you could just give your name, spell your last name.
My name's Nathan. Last name Arndt, A-R-N-D-T.
Okay, and what is your position here with the fire department?
I'm a lieutenant.
Okay. And how long have you been here at the Beavercreek Fire Department?
I was hired full-time in December of 2000.
All right. And going back to the few shifts back, do you recall being dispatched or responding up to the Walmart in Beavercreek?
Yes, I was working at Station 64 down on Indian Ripple Road that night. I was riding Engine 64 as officer that night.
Okay, and do you recall what you were dispatched there for specifically?
We were dispatched. We were one of the third apparatus dispatched by request of the shift commander that was up there at that point in time for additional assistance with the patient who was in cardiac arrest.
Okay. And speaking of the patient in cardiac arrest, was that the female patient that went down there at the store?
Yes.
Okay. And once responding, what interaction and or aid did you render to that patient?
We were originally dispatched non-ER due to the nature of the incident and the distance from our station to the location. We went emergency up to Walmart. Just before we arrived on scene, shift commander assigned us to make our way to the BC corner of the store and assist with the patient the female that was in cardiac arrest. We had limited crews back there at that time helping her.
Okay. And once you arrived there and made contact and observed that female, what did you observe? What did you see? Were there any officers assisting
there was
her?
a female officer, one of the newer hires for Beavercreek Police Department that was in the back. She was assisting ventilations. We had one of our crew members doing CPR at that time, and we were rendering ALS care to that patient. So IVs, cardiac monitor. When we arrived on scene, that stuff had already been established.
Okay, and once you assisted that patient, was she then loaded on a cot and placed in the squad for transport, or what?
Correct. Once we got there, we assisted wrapping up. They were finishing the IV, so we secured what we needed to. We then, all the people that were there, lifted her, put her on a backboard, lifted the backboard onto the cot, and then made our way out through the store, continuing CPR during that time, and put her into the ambulance to transport her to Soin Hospital.
Okay, so she was transported to Soin.
Correct.
And where is that at in reference to the Walmart?
Literally across the street.
Okay. And when you were there, did you observe anything that you would consider to be inappropriate with the officer's response, or would you consider that they were rendering proper aid to the patient there? They were assisting.
No,
in your opinion,
the officer that was helping with the lady who went down was being more than helpful. Typically, they're limited in their help, and she was, being more than helpful for rendering the CPR to the lady who went down. She did have an AED with her that she had hooked up prior to our arrival. We had taken that off because our equipment doesn't match, so we put our equipment on there. But she had the AED, was helping us with ventilations, was more than, once we got there, we kind of let her step aside so we could take over for her, but she was more than willing to help. She helped wheeled her out. She stayed with us to provide for a security detail to make our way out of the structure also.
Okay. So not only were they assisting aid, they escorted you in and out just for safe response.
Correct, yeah. Anytime we went in and out, we had an officer near us or around us assisting us.
Okay. Is there anything that I'm not asking you or that you didn't state you feel would be helpful with us investigating this officer-involved shooting, or is that pretty much the limitation of what you did?
Yeah, after we were done with her, we put her in the medic and transported her out of the facility.
Okay.
The ambulance took her to Soin. We stuck around as an engine for a while because they had not cleared the store yet. Gotcha. And then after the store, they went around and cleared the store because there were some people that had barricaded themselves in a room due to the incident.
Okay.
once they were let out, we assessed them and did some medical reports on them and
Okay.
assessed them for medical needs and stuff like that also.
So there were no other patients after that?
We
just
did
the
a refusal on one lady who
Okay.
was complaining of some abdominal pain because she was pregnant, but she ended up refusing transport and we didn't transport her.
Okay. And you didn't have any direct contact with the male patient slash suspect in that incident? You didn't
No,
have any type of medical assistance to him directly?
No, when we showed up, he was already in the ambulance from our crew, the initial response crew.
Okay.
From Station 63 had already made contact with him, loaded him in the ambulance, and actually were pulling out as we were pulling in.
Okay. So no
they had
direct
already
contact
removed
then.
they had already removed him from the scene.
Okay. All right. Well, we will conclude this interview. It is still Wednesday the 13th, 16:23 hours.